Well, hello. Well, today I've hopped over to the Netherlands and I'm here in its capital, Amsterdam. And I'm not fishing for the usual species. Most people come here for perch, zander, species like that. I'm after something just as predatory, but a little bit smaller. Let's see if we can get one.
Amsterdam is known for its extensive network of canals, which if you're an opportunistic angler can offer some great fishing. My plan was to head to the larger IJ River, which is at the back of the train station. This is where I'd been recommended was best to catch fish, but seeing as there was a canal right outside my apartment building, it seems silly not to wet a line here first.
Just setting up by the canal, and if you have a look here, the boats along the canal are providing cover for the fish. So that's where I'm going to start, in between the boats. That's where they'll be hiding. These canals are pretty shallow, so we'll give it a go for a little bit, and then I'm going to head out to the bigger areas near the train station and the Amstel River, where I might have a little bit more chance of catching some fish. In terms of gear, it's nothing complicated. It's a little travel telescopic rod, just kind of nice and easy to bring. If it breaks, it breaks. I've got a little bit of everything in there, just a tiny tackle box with every little kind of thing I'd ever need. Most people, when they come to Amsterdam, lure fish, but I'm going to be bait fishing. So all I've got is a little weight attached to a tiny hook, which you can see there. That's probably about a size 14, something like that. And that reflects what I'm after. And then the bait that I'm using is prawns. Let's give it a go.
If you want to fish in Amsterdam, it's really easy. All you need is a fishing license, which you can buy online called the Vispas. It was around €40 and enables me to fish pretty much anywhere in the capital. It's slightly different than how we do it in the UK, as you also join a local angling club here. It's well worth doing, as the police are pretty active on checking, and you can get a hefty fine if you don't have one.
One of the things that struck me is how a green city Amsterdam is. You've got bikes everywhere, obviously you've got the canals, huge network of canals as a car goes behind me, but also the wildlife. As I've been fishing, I've seen lots of herons. Amsterdam is well known for its heronry here, and there's parakeets everywhere. It's just like being in London. Look up at the trees and you see all these ringneck parakeets hanging around. But the fishing's pretty slim here. I have seen people fishing around the bridges, but I think it's just too shallow here. So I'm going to move on to deeper water, I think.
Well, that was my plan before I reeled in an old Coke can and my intended target.
So I caught this can, and inside the can was the goby, the round goby that I was after. So that's probably the most Amsterdam way to catch a fish, is to catch it in a piece of litter. But it's tiny, they get a lot bigger than that. So hopefully we can get a big one. I keep hooking quite a nice fish actually. I don't know if it's a perch or a zander, but I've caught the fish I wanted to get, so that's pretty good. So we'll see if we can get a bigger one.
So the round goby is what I'm after. I also dropped some cameras down into the canal, and to be honest, it was quite murky, but the bottom was littered with these gobies, which isn't too much of a shock, as they rapidly reproduce and can be in high densities, up to 20 fish per square metre. I did also pick up roach, lots of perch, and even a little zander, and then something quite big took the bait.
Has to be the camera.
It's recording.
Come on.
Ah.
Oh, that was a nice bream. Wasn't expecting that.
I'm pretty sure the bream I lost was this one that swam by, but I can't say I'm that upset about losing a manky, slimy bream. The bites are fairly aggressive from the gobies, and I started to touch ledger to feel them out, and soon enough started catching loads.
Just getting some rat-a-tat-tat on the end of the rod. And Nice and windy. So that's what I wanted. A bigger round goby. So you can tell it's a round goby. It's got the little black spot there. And it's in freshwater, which we don't have any other freshwater gobies in this part of the world. So, mission accomplished. That's a new species for me. They do get a bit bigger than this. But cool, look at him, he's really proud. Awesome. Look at that one. That's a monster. You can actually see on this one, it's got a sucker on its belly, and they use that to stick onto walls and rocks in fast water. So you might well think these tiny little fish, surely they're not a problem, but they're actually in the most 100 invasive species in the world. Now they started off in the Caspian Sea, and like things like demon shrimp and zebra mussels, they moved over into Western European waterways, and they outcompete native species. So species like gudgeon, bullheads and ruff, these get pushed out. In fact, the only things that do well, things like zander, pike and perch, because they scoff them, but we don't really want them. Fortunately, there is a chance that they could make it to the UK, and if I'm honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we get them in the next 10 to 15 years. So it's well worth checking our waterways, and if you see something that looks like one of these round gobies, then report it. But it's a new species, I've ticked it off the list, so I'm absolutely chuffed.
I hope you enjoyed this vid, and let me know what species you'd like me to go after next. I'm keen to try for asp, which are like a large predatory chub, or maybe burbot, a species I'd love to see a specimen of. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, liking the video and subscribing to the channel really helps me out. But you can also donate to my buymeacoffee.com link, and all the money from that goes back into making new films for the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. You can check out some other videos in the links here. Also check out my website and social media, as well as the podcast that I host, the Bearded Tits Podcast. Cheers.